Hello Vinyl community, how you doing? It's Bill with the Vinyl. This is going to be my first video in my countdown to Genesis The Last Domino series. I'm going to see Genesis on December 2nd when they come to Philadelphia on their Last Domino tour. And I thought leading up to that I would do a series of Genesis related videos. So here I am to do the countdown of my top 20 favorite Genesis songs. This was a hard task to pull. It was hard leaving so many great songs off of my top 20 list, but I'm sticking with 20, and this is how the list came out today when I finalized it. It could probably change tomorrow, and I'm sure it's different than your top 20 list, and I'm sure I've left off some of your favorite songs for you other Genesis fans out there. But yeah, this is going to be my top 20 favorite Genesis songs as I record this. Surprisingly, there's several albums that aren't represented at all on this list, and I'll go through them quickly. First of all, their debut album, Genesis from Genesis to Revelation. Abacab, big surprise. None of the songs made my top 20, as well as Invisible Touch. Nothing made my top 20, as well as We Can't Dance, and the last studio album, Calling All Stations. Nothing from these albums made my top 20, but every other Genesis studio album is represented. Also, nothing made my list. No B-sides or EP songs. This is strictly studio albums. No live albums are represented either. But let's just jump in here and get started with number 20. And actually, I'm cheating a little bit right off the bat with number 20 because I'm going with the great Home by the Sea and Second Home by the Sea on Genesis' self-titled album from 1983. These are listed as two separate songs on the album, but grouping them into one because they flow right into each other. They're related to each other, and they go together. So Home by the Sea and Second Home by the Sea is number 20. Great tracks. Home by the Sea is more vocal, and then Second Home by the Sea is more instrumental. But love that one. It's pretty much been a standard in their set list since it came out on this album. I believe every tour they had Home by the Sea and Second Home by the Sea in the set. So that's number 20. Okay, number 19. Off of Trespass, their second album, the song Stagnation. Wonderful track. One of their first more prog related tracks. Great keyboard organ work by Tony Banks on this song. It's one of the standout tracks on this album for me, at least. And even a snippet of the song Genesis continues to play live during when they play I Know What I Like in Your Wardrobe. They usually, towards the end of that song, they usually put a little snippet of Stagnation into when they perform it live. So Stagnation coming at number 19. Number 18 is the lead-off track off of the 1978 album, and then there were three. Down and Out is the opening track, and really, really great song. Incredible musicianship on that song, especially from Phil Collins on the drums. It starts out, the song starts out with this hauntingly just kind of keyboard chord, I guess, from Tony Banks. And then Mike Rutherford comes in with this guitar lick, And then next thing you know, Phil Collins is just burning up with these great drum fills, and really awesome track. So that's number 18. Number 17, from 1971, off of Nursery Crime, The Fountain of Salmacis. Really, really great, wonderful track. Great musicianship all around. Really great intro by Tony Banks on the, I believe, the Mellotron. And then he has a little intro, and then the whole band crescendos up with him, and then he keeps going at it. Really great song, great musicianship, wonderful guitar solo at the end of the song by Steve Hackett. So that's number 17, The Fountain of Salmacis. Number 16, going back to the self-titled album from 1983, and the opening track, Mama. Big song for Genesis, radio hit, MTV video, exceptional vocal performance from Phil Collins on this song. And that's another kind of standard in the concert set list for Genesis since they debuted it on this album. Really great, like, drum machine pattern to kick off the song, and it kind of plays through. Using that drum machine was real experimental for Genesis at this time, and they created that pattern, and Mama was born out of that. And that's such a great track, Mama, number 16 on my list. Number 15, going to 1976, and When Wuthering, the song Blood on the Rooftops. I adore that track. One of my favorites, obviously. Really written by both Steve Hackett and Phil Collins. Starts out with a classical acoustic guitar by Steve Hackett. It's got some haunting keyboard work by Tony Banks. Beautiful vocal by Phil Collins. And it's just got like that emotional pull that always gets me, and I love that song. Blood on the Rooftops, number, what did I say, 15. Moving along to number 14. The opening track off of A Trick of the Tail from 1976. So Peter Gabriel departs the band, and the first thing we hear post Peter Gabriel is the song Dance on a Volcano from A Trick of the Tail, and that is number 14 on my list. Just a wonderful song, really complex. Great opening by Mike Rutherford on, I believe, the 12 string. I could be wrong on that, but excellent playing, real fiery, and what an opening track for A Trick of the Tail. After Peter Gabriel leaving and not knowing what to expect, you hear this opening sequence by Mike Rutherford, and then the band comes in. It's just with this bombastic answer to what he's playing. Just incredible. So, Dance on a Volcano. Number 13. Going back to 1973 and Selling England by the Pound. And the opening track, Dancing with the Moonlit Night. This song is kind of all over the place, and I absolutely love it. It starts out with this a cappella vocal by Peter Gabriel, and it just takes off from there. Incredible guitar work from Steve Hackett. The band, the musicianship on this is just top notch. Yeah, wonderful, wonderful track. And even that a cappella vocal that starts off the album actually has a bit of a reprise at the very end of the album. But that's coming in at number 13, Dancing with the Moonlit Night off of Selling England by the Pound. Coming in at number 12, from 1974, off of The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway, The Carpet Crawlers. Yeah, what a wonderful track The Carpet Crawlers is. Great keyboard work by Tony Banks as usual, with this kind of like pattern that he plays. Beautiful vocals by Peter Gabriel, where his vocals start off kind of sweet, and then they just kind of build throughout the song with each verse. And then, of course, the chorus, the carpet crawlers, got to get in to get out. Just classic. So that's coming in at number 12, the carpet crawlers off The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway, 1974. Number 11, once again, 1976, off of A Trick of the Tail, and the song Ripples. Beautiful, beautiful song that I really love. A beautiful vocal by Phil Collins. It's kind of sweet, soft, lyrical first half, and then a instrumental second half, with this guitar solo from Steve Hackett that I absolutely love. It almost sounds like he's playing a reversed guitar solo, so it kind of has that backwards sound to it. I guess he's using that wah-wah pedal, and it's awesome. It gets kind of intense during that second half, and it's obviously one of my favorites. So Ripples, number 11, off of A Trick of the Tail. Number 10, from 1980's Duke, and the song Duchess. What can I say about Duchess? It is an incredible song. So different. Kind of flows right from the opening track, Behind the Lines, right into Duchess, and moves into this kind of like piano by Tony Banks, kind of soft and mellow, with a drum machine playing in the background with little sound effects coming from the drum machine. I really love it. And then great vocals by Phil Collins, and just the atmosphere of the song, and the delivery from the band. It's just a favorite of mine. I really, really love it. So Duchess off of Duke from 1980. Coming in at number 10. All right, number 9. Heading back to The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway, and the incredible Fly on a Windshield. Such a really powerful, band moment from Genesis. It starts off with this kind of real soft, quiet Peter Gabriel vocal, ending with the words, "And I'm hovering like a fly waiting for a windshield on a freeway." And the next thing you know, the band just comes in really unexpectedly and takes you back. And it's so powerful. Yeah, so number 9, Fly on a Windshield. Awesome. Awesome stuff. Okay, number 8. Heading back to Wind and Wuthering from 1976. And a masterpiece by Tony Banks, One for the Vine. Epic song. Tony Banks really, really shines on that song. It's got kind of a instrumental break in the middle of it, which is just really, really, just awesome. So great, and I really love it. So One for the Vine, coming in at number 8. Number 7, once again, The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway, and the great song In the Cage. Really, really love the song In the Cage, especially performed live. Later years of Genesis, the trio era, they would play In the Cage and move it in, and then do a medley of other older Genesis songs, and it's just brilliant the way they perform that live. But even on the studio version, it's got a great intensity to it. Great vocals by Peter Gabriel, and obviously one of my favorite tracks, In the Cage. All right, number 6, going back to 1973, Selling England by the Pound, and The Cinema Show, Wonderful track, The Cinema Show. The second half of it really highlights Mike Rutherford, Tony Banks, and Phil Collins, them as a three-piece, but the entire song, beautiful, great Tony Banks keyboard work in the middle of it, great great stuff. And like I said, highlights Phil, Mike, and Tony throughout the second half of the song. Really, really wonderful. The Cinema Show. All right, we made it to the top 5, and coming in at number 5, going back to the Lamb Lies Down on Broadway, the song "The Lamia." Obviously one of my most favorite tracks. It just beautiful. Beautiful vocals by Peter Gabriel on that track. It's just got a lot of emotion. It's, it's kind of quieter, and it builds slightly, but yeah, Peter Gabriel is exceptional with his vocals on that song. Wonderful guitar solo by Steve Hackett towards the end, and I just love it. So coming in at number 5, the Lamia off of The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway. All right, moving along, and coming in at number 4, this is the first time we've seen Foxtrot from 1972, and the opening track, Watcher of the Skies. What can you say about this song? It's got one of the most iconic opening tracks in the Genesis catalog, with this really haunting Mellotron opening from Tony Banks. Haunting is the right word. It goes on for a couple minutes, I think, and it's just exceptional. And then the rest of the band comes in with this polyrhythmic time signature all playing together, and it just builds, and great. Just a prog classic, and it's fantastic. The entire band on this song is just awesome. So, Watcher of the Skies coming in at number 4, off of Foxtrot from 1972. Number 3, once again off of Nursery Crime, and it is the opening track, The Musical Box. Incredible song. It has everything that I love about Genesis. It has, they have dynamic range, so it's real quiet, and then it's real powerful, complicated playing. Great performance by Peter Gabriel on vocals on this song, especially when at the end when he starts screaming now, just wonderful. Great playing all around. This was Steve Hackett and Phil Collins, both are the first time we hear them with Genesis on this album, and they're both well represented on the song The Musical Box. So great introduction to them, but just an all-time classic for me. I love it. The Musical Box coming in at number 3. All right, number 2. Heading back to Selling Them by the Pound from 1973, and the incredible Firth of Fifth. I kind of consider it to be the ultimate prog rock song. If you're going to look up progressive rock in the dictionary, this is the song that you would see, Firth of Fifth, in my opinion. Just incredible. It starts out with this kind of classical piano by Tony Banks introduction. Great intro, and the band comes in with great vocals by Peter Gabriel. And then it follows this theme throughout where Peter Gabriel plays the solo on his flute. Song kind of changes, but it's keeping that theme. Tony Banks playing it on the piano. And then ultimately, Steve Hackett has the most incredible guitar solo there is. Atmospheric, really feels like you're flying. And it just takes you up and up and up. and he's able to sustain these notes when he's playing this solo, and it's just incredible to me, and I love it. So number 2, Firth of Fifth, just an incredible song. If you've never heard it, I highly recommend you check it out. It's just incredible. I love it. Coming in at number 1, and if you hadn't guessed already, it's actually playing in the background, but it is Supper's Ready off of Foxtrot. The ultimate Genesis prog rock song, coming in at 23 minutes on side 2. What a ride Supper's Ready is. Starts off soft with Peter Gabriel's vocals, and then it just takes you on a journey up until you get to Willow Farm, the Willow Farm section, where it takes a complete 180, so unexpected. And then from there, you have a gorgeous Peter Gabriel flute solo, which leads you into the Apocalypse and 9/8 section, which is just so fiery and powerful. You really feel like you go through a battle in this song, and then it just brings you up until you have this kind of release at the end, like you've won and now you're so number 1, Supper's Ready, ultimate Genesis song and my absolute favorite. So that does it. That is my top 20 favorite Genesis songs. Let me know in the comments what you disagree with, or what your favorite songs are, what songs I left off of my list that you would have put on. I'm pretty comfortable with the list that I put out there. It's unfortunate that some albums didn't make it, but I have favorite songs off of those albums too. They just didn't make it into the top 20. But I appreciate you following along with me, and I'm going to have more Genesis related videos coming up. I have several planned. Hope to get them out over the next month or so. So, everyone, thank you for watching. I will talk to you all again soon. Take care now. Bye.